Hey, it's Vincent from Better Chords Academy, and for a long time I've been struggling with improvisation on the piano, especially using the pentatonic scale. I knew all the notes, it's a very simple scale, so I should be able to improvise now, right? Wrong. And if you've also learned the pentatonic scale, but you're struggling to do any sort of improvisation with it, then you're not doing anything wrong either. It's just that we've been taught how to improvise in a wrong way all along. Improvisation is a lot more than just knowing and playing a scale. So in this video, I'm showing you my method how to break down piano improvisation using the pentatonic scale in a way that any beginner can understand and start improvising right away. Because the pentatonic scale really is an amazing tool if you know how to use it right. So let's get started. So for this lesson, we're using the C major pentatonic scale. And while I assume you've probably heard of it before and you sort of know what the pentatonic scale is, let's just all get on the same level. So in the key of C major, meaning we have all the white notes in the key. And the C major pentatonic scale contains the following notes: C, D, E, G, and A. Now all of these notes are basically available to us when we improvise with the C major pentatonic scale. And as I mentioned in the beginning, learning these 5 notes is really simple. You can play them all with one hand even. So now that we're all at this step, we're back to improvising. Now, where do we start? So let's play, for example, a C in the left hand, and I play the right hand up and down. I can even make some small changes like go back and forth, go up and down. And you know, we can noodle around with this, but the very first thing we have to do is actually cut down the number of notes we use. So 5 is actually too much in the beginning. Pick 3 notes from the scale. So we could start with the first 3, but again, that would be a bit too obvious. So let's pick the second, third, and fourth note of the scale. So remember, this is our scale, and we have notes 2, 3, and 4, which are D, E, and G. And let's pick these out. Now these are what I call a chunk. From the scale we can take different chunks. The CDE would be one chunk, this is a chunk, this could be a chunk, or we could even spread them out like this could also be a chunk, or this of the pentatonic scale. Now what do we do with this? So let's start actually improvising with this chunk. Now the way we do this is we first look at the possibilities we have. So for example, we can play these notes up, we can play them down, we can, for example, start in the middle, go up and then down, and then we can repeat the notes, of course, a simple pattern like this. Now, these patterns that we're coming up with are already the foundation of this improvisation method. And you notice it's a lot less noodling than when we started with the entire scale. Now let's get back to these chunks and the patterns we were looking at. So with these patterns, one idea is repetition. And there's one quote from Adam Neely, another famous music YouTuber, and I love this very much. It's repetition legitimizes. Now this quote really tells it all. Like once you play something, it's really just random. Like anyone could play a sequence of notes on the piano, even when we pick them from a scale like the major pentatonic scale. But what turns it actually into music and, you know, starts to tell a story is repetition. So let me demonstrate this again by using this chunk of 3 notes from the major pentatonic scale and just repeating one idea. So as you can tell, this is a way to create really beautiful improvisation, and notice that I repeated the first idea for quite a long time. So why does repetition make improvisation work? Another great idea is that repetition just makes you feel more confident and comfortable within this space of notes. And then you'll be able to explore new ideas. So it does two things. It gives you a sort of anchor point, and it allows you to, really have something to play instead of, having basically all of these notes at the same time, reducing it down, anchoring yourself, but then also giving you the option to be really creative within this small space, because you start to feel so confident with just these 3 notes. Because at some point, you've played a lot of options with these 3 notes, and then you feel comfortable and you'll be able to explore new ideas. And if you're looking for a step-by-step method to improvise on piano, I've made a free course on all the concepts of basic and advanced piano improvisation. Just click the link in the video description. It's free. So let's start to combine these chunks into sort of more fluid and a bit more varied improvisation. Now, one thing we can do, of course, is take this one chunk and add a second chunk. For example, that could be A, C, and D up here. Because we haven't included the A and C yet, let's get them into this second chunk. So remember, chunk 1, D, E, G, second chunk, A, C, and D. And now, first of all, of course, I would start only with this second chunk. So again, we want to start getting comfortable within this limited space of notes. So you can improvise around with this. Really, again, play around with this. And then let's combine these 2 chunks to create bigger improvisation and start playing around with these 2. So we just start on one of those chunks. And then go to the second one. We can go back. And this is where it really starts to become beautiful, and you can start to explore new ideas. Now we can expand these chunks across the entire keyboard. Right now we've been in this limited space of around an octave. But of course, it doesn't have to be limited to this only. So once you start to get more comfortable, you can go here. But then again, for example, this chunk can be transposed by an octave, and you can also play it down here. So for example, we can go to our first chunk. And this is another way to expand your possibilities. Now, again, these shapes stay the same all through the registers, even if we go up here. It's all the same, and this is what makes it so powerful as well, because we can take everything we do here and then just shift it around without having to learn anything new, but it still sounds really awesome. Now, for the left hand, it's really important to see it as support for the right hand. So one thing I really want you to remember is a simple left hand allows for creative freedom in the right hand. So in the beginning, really don't overcomplicate the left hand or try to play like fancy arpeggio patterns, because that makes it really hard to improvise with the right hand. So stick to these octaves in the left hand. It's really enough to get you to improvise, and focus more on the creative part in the right hand. Now, of course, you can expand your left hand options, or for example, add some rhythm. One easy way to do this would be to add the fifth, where you would just count up 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can add a pattern like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And for example, with some improvisation, and you can take this through the different notes, and then once again find the different chunks that work and really just explore your options there. One thing that I really love for the left hand, which is even simpler than this, but it sounds really amazing as well, is to play an add to voicing. Now this is a bit stretchy, where you play the root note, the bass note, then you play the fifth, and then you play the note above the root, which is the second, and then the third. For example, for F, it would be here. You can try playing this with your third finger as well. Find out if like your hand is able to stretch there. And it's a really cool thing to shift around. And if you improvise over this, for example. Now for the end, I want to provide a backing track to you in the key of C major. So if you feel like the left hand is still a bit much, maybe coordination wise, then just drop the left hand for now and only focus on coming up with ideas in the right hand. Here we go in 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, then don't forget to click like and subscribe on this video. And if you haven't already, check out the free improvisation course I made for you guys. It's a really awesome tool for beginners to start and get into improvisation. Again, it's the link in the video description or in the pinned comment. And I'll see you guys again in the next lesson.